And we're back. Welcome back, fellow gamers. Welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to my live stream. If I'm not mistaken, or if my math is correct, this is my third hour. I think it's my third hour. Or maybe it's my fourth, because I remember playing Haven and Heart for an hour. Anyway, it doesn't matter. As always, the music playing in the background is Welcome to the Show by Kevin MacLeod. It's licensed under Creative Commons 4.0, and you can download it for free at incompetech.com. Go check it out. You'll find a lot of good music there that you can use in any of your projects that requires music. Okay, let's get started. Games for the modern audience. Yeah, they do exist. The modern audience do exist. But the problem is, it is a niche audience. It's very niche. If you target the modern audience, for example, if you target woke gamers, LGBTQ plus gamers and others, you might get some sales. But if you want your game to be profitable, you'll need to scale your costs down. There's nothing wrong in making games or developing games for a niche audience like woke gamers and LGBTQ plus gamers and others. And that is why there are genres, because some gamers like action games, some gamers like platform games, some gamers like sports games, some games like puzzle games, some gamers like role-playing games. So it's the same thing when it comes to the audience that game developers are targeting. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Election day was wild. Asmongold is always on my front page, and it has been like a day already, or maybe even a couple of days, and YouTube is still using, at least on my front page, YouTube is still using the large thumbnail format. Okay, so this one is from Dr. Disaster. Tales of the Shire is sold off by Take-Two. They know the modern audience won't support this slop. Because the modern audience is too busy crying in social media. Their form of entertainment is social media websites like Twitter or X, Facebook, Instagram, things like that. That is their entertainment. That is their form of entertainment. Crying in social media. Anyway, let's go listen to Dr. Disaster, the space pirate that pays taxes.
Disaster. And do you want to know one very simple way that you can tell that a game is likely going to sell like absolute dog shit? Well, this is a pretty easy one. A game is very likely to sell like shit when the studio that made it is literally sold just a few months before the thing is released.
It's a no-brainer.
And that appears to be the case with a game that we've made fun of before on this channel. You guys remember that Lord of the Rings game that's coming out called Tales of the Shire, don't you? It's the game
I called it Tales of the Shite.
We love hobbits, and with time it will.
Oh my freaking goodness.
Tells the Shire.
Again, guys, there is nothing wrong in making games for the LGBTQ plus gamers.
It is going to sell.
In fact, I support the fact that there are game developers that make games for the LGBTQ plus gamers.
Just a few months before the game releases, they can see the writing.
But what I don't support is the fact that they are also hiding it. They're trying to sell it to everyone. They are marketing the game or the games as for everyone when it's specifically made for a niche audience. That is where the problem happens.
Their name is completely understandable.
Get it away!
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter or X, or whatever you want to refer to it as these days. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. My handle over there is Dr. Disaster 1. Alright, anyhow, let's dig into what we have going on with Tales of the Shire, a game that is slated to release this spring in March.
Tales of the Shite.
The game is very clearly going to do absolutely jack shit for sales when it comes out because gamers are pretty much in complete agreement. This game looks like crap. The art style is about as ugly as you can imagine, and the diversity hobbits are a major turnoff as well. It simply isn't the world that J.R.R. Tolkien envisioned. And I'll say the same thing for this game.
Again, it's just a matter of scaling down costs. If you're making a game for a niche audience, you don't spend hundreds of millions of dollars on it.
Were literally described.
It doesn't make sense.
Or dark-skinned people. A lot of them fought alongside Sauron in The Lord of the Rings, but some of them didn't, and I think a story about some of them defying Sauron and being heroes could actually be really cool, but that's a bit of a tangent. Anyhow, the art in this game is one of the chief problems that it suffers from. The art is purposely ugly. It's as if they were going for the so ugly, it must be kinda cute vibe. The sort of thing that I get when I see a bulldog, but it just doesn't work for this game. And the vibes on it are actually just really, really bad. Every major video for this game that I look up is ratioed to hell. The official announcement trailer from a half a year ago, it got ratioed right away. The IGN preview video from about 4 months ago, it got ratioed into oblivion. The half-a-minute release date reveal video, it got ratioed too. And then the IGN gameplay video from last month got ratioed to hell as well. They just can't put out anything for this game without gamers swooping in to completely destroy it. Like this guy here who wrote on the IGN gameplay video, looks like one of those fake ad games.
Cast it into the fire! Destroy it!
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
So that brings us to this news that Take-Two is selling off the studio that made this stinker. The headline is quite a zinger. Take-Two has sold Private Division to an unnamed buyer. We are top 10 hit makers around here, and Private Division wasn't making them.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Take-Two Interactive has confirmed that it has sold.
So basically, Take-Two basically said
2017
the game studio sucks. They were thrown under the bus.
live and unreleased.
Oh my goodness.
Exception is no rest for the
That is so sad, getting thrown under the bus by your own
this year, which
Publisher.
to support. And you've got to think that if Tales of the Shire had any traction at all, then Take-Two would insist on this game staying under their umbrella the same way that they're doing with No Rest for the Wicked. After all, the cost of making the game was incurred by them over the past few years, so you'd think they would want to keep it in order to recoup the expenditure, but apparently not.
Well, maybe they sold it to recoup the costs, or to get back some of the money they spent on the game. Maybe they spent 10 million on it. They sold the studio for 20 million, so they still profited
The Outer Worlds,
10 million. They got 10 million from it. I'm just assuming, of course. I don't really know.
Kerbal Space Program 2, expected to be Private Division's flagship game, was a notable flop. And then they go on to say that for the likes of Take-Two, even the hits weren't big enough for them. I don't know about that though. That just sounds like corporate talk to me. It sounds like a bit of spin. It sounds like a way to try to let these guys down easily. They don't want to insult them. But if this company was actually profitable, if Private Division was actually making money, I don't think they'd have any problem holding on to it, whether or not these were top 10 hits or not. These big corporations are diversified like crazy. They own all kinds of stuff, but what they don't like to own is stuff that costs them a lot of money, which is where Tales of the Shire comes in here. If this game was going to be a hit, I suspect they would not have sold it off. But they know that it won't be, so Take-Two is absorbing all the costs and selling it off before they get any of the profits. Hopefully, they understand why this game fails. Hopefully, they understand that gamers don't want to be preached at, they don't want to be virtue signaled to. We just want fun games. We want entertainment. And hopefully, GTA 6 from Take-Two delivers on that front. But I have my fears. In any event, I'm going to leave it there.
I would be very, very surprised if GTA 6 is not woke.
To the comment section below, and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
If you haven't already, your
I will be very, very surprised. I hope it's not woke.
become a part of the crew. Life
What do I care? I won't be able to play it anyway.
of booty.
So that was Dr. Disaster. What else do we have here? Armchair Critic reacts to Starship 5 booster landing. And over here we have Nobuo Uematsu, One-Winged Angel, a classical musician's first listen and reaction. What do you mean One-Winged Angel? Is that the theme song of Kenny Omega? I think it's a... Wait. Nope, it's not. It's a Battle Cry, I believe, the title of Kenny Omega's theme song. Liberals angry that Trump won again. Why are they angry? Maybe they should have voted. Okay, this is not new. This one is Trump drops most important video on the internet right now. Okay, this looks interesting. Let's go check this out. Look at these three guys. I've seen a ton of videos of not just these three guys. Sometimes there are like 4 or 5 of them reacting to videos. So now I'm going to, I guess, react to them reacting on Donald Trump.
Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth.
That is just so stupid.
I will revoke
It is so stupid.
policies on so-called
Children are not allowed to drink. They're not allowed to drive. Yet they're allowed to
mutating their physical
mutilate themselves.
ultimately
It
perform
is so stupid.
on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal
There is nothing wrong if you're an adult.
programs
You know, if you're an adult,
of sex and
do whatever you want.
at any age.
But when it's a kid,
Stop federal tax
when it's a child,
from being used
even if the child says that they want to do it,
to pass a law prohibiting child sexual
what?
mutilation.
Are you just going to go with it? Are you stupid?
I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet
This is a good stance because most countries,
Medicare
for some weird reason, like to copy
immediately.
US policies, even the weird ones.
Action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital
You need to, I guess you can say, revamp
of sex transition
the department as well.
at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones.
This just makes sense, okay?
You're in no way likely.
It makes sense. It makes sense to protect children.
Department of Education will inform states and school districts.
What doesn't make sense is you allow them to make decisions that will change their lives forever when they can't even, when you don't even allow them to drink alcohol.
Violations for sex discrimination.
Wow.
That don't sound bad.
I don't think any of that sounds
great. But
That sounds like common sense.
I
think he's just trying to stop that.
See, even this guy here knows that is all common sense.
already hit up that have to kind of like take like recovery medicine.
It just makes sense.
Like some people, like I'm not the hormones, but like don't they have to take other medicines? Like
Even if you don't believe in God, it just makes sense to protect children. Unless, of course, you're one of those PDF files that sees children as
care for the
sex objects.
Someone's in the process like right now.
That is disgusting.
treated for like the reverse and all the other stuff after. That's the
You're talking about like as if they're going through the process right now. When he gets elected, how is that process gonna go for somebody that's going through?
I always say there's nothing wrong to this and that, but
Assuming that they'll just go.
in that case, that is definitely wrong.
Would it be under medical?
It's very, very wrong.
That's what I'm just asking.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure that your insurance has the
Back in the day, the
situation, but
liberals are complaining about circumcision. They say it's child mutilation. Now,
I know it's probably like, can they still get
a few decades later,
try to?
they're okay with castration.
Because it's only for kids.
They don't consider it mutilation.
Adults probably gonna be
So stupid.
be able to do what they're doing, but like the kids, what would happen in that situation?
you know, when people were saying that it's a mental like epidemic in this country, the fact that people
Mental health?
committed suicide after Donald Trump won, that shows a lot.
Yeah, that's absurd. I've just been seeing people post a number of that. I've seen a different number today as well. It's pretty crazy.
But Vivek
Y'all
was-
think somebody pushing propaganda or this actually what's going on though?
What you mean? Like
You think somebody actually just pushing propaganda and just saying
I don't know.
that just happening or that's like a
or mental? No, it's a little. Oh, you saying that people
the
actually
suicide, like killing themselves?
Okay.
That's what I'm asking.
Who reported that?
I've seen it on X. I've seen from multiple different sources.
Yeah, I have seen it too. That's
I
what
just
I
been
was like.
seeing
Saying,
multiple
is it
people.
real? I don't know if it is real.
That's crazy because that's sad because it's like you already lived 4 years under this man. So somebody like
Bro, the media
bad,
has
bro?
tricked them. It's brainwashed them.
But it just shows
That's
that
sad,
like
bro.
also what he's saying, like if people in these like fields
The problem is they are living in an echo chamber
promoting
where
like
they only hear
I guess like they're pushing
one point of view,
so they're hurting
and they were taught that
and hurting.
the point of view that they listen to is the correct point of view. It's like back in the day, back in the old days,
They kept saying that. Hey, that's what we're dealing with
when religious zealots exist. Yeah,
in this country.
it's not even just that.
there is such a thing back in the day. I don't know if they still exist. Religious zealots.
Yeah.
They're so ingrained in their religion that nothing else matters.
When he's in office, which one of them sound like Hitler?
That is why wokeism or woke is a religion.
Claim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all, and corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians.
He must remove
At a level that nobody
people in government that are mentally not fit to work
which are so corrupt that the judges
because they tend to abuse the very little authority that they get.
So many judges have seen so many applications that
And even though it's just a small piece of power or authority,
the hoaxes.
because they're in government, they do a lot of harm to a lot of people.
We will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption. And there
What about the DD files and the Epstein lists? A lot of people are very interested in the Epstein and DD files or DD lists.
subvert our government and our democracy. When possible, we will press criminal charges. Sixth, we will make every Inspector General's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee so they do not become the protectors of the deep state. Seventh, I will ask Congress
Who are this deep state? I want to know. I want names.
to continually monitor
Give me names.
agencies to ensure they are not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against the American people, or that they are not spying.
Also, why are the women in The View are not getting sued?
Continue the effort
Every day they go on air, they do their show, and all they do is slander people. Why are they not getting sued? It's so amazing, actually.
Just as I moved the Bureau of Land Management to Colorado, as many as 100,000 government positions could be moved out, and I mean immediately, of Washington to places filled with patriots who love America, and they really do love America. Ninth, I will work to ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and that they regulate. So they deal with these companies and they regulate these companies, and then they want to take jobs from these companies. Doesn't work that way. Such a public display cannot go on, and it's taking place all the time, like with Big Pharma. Finally, I will push a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on members of Congress. This is how I will shatter the deep state and restore government that is controlled.
Again, I want to know who are the members of this deep state.
Damn.
That sounds like a good plan. I definitely am excited for the future under Trump. If that's
So do that sound like
that's his first
That
course
was
of
a
action.
great video.
Hitler
was.
activity, y'all? That any?
No,
I'm
does it
actually
sound like,
that
does it sound like a
entertained
guy that's only looking out for himself? Does this sound like a guy that is only interested in furthering?
He just got elected, and he is already laying down the laws.
On this ride,
I guess the rules.
It's awesome to see it have finally come to fruition.
He is putting down his foot.
The past few days, I've been very excited to see like
You
I've
seen
been
like
excited to see like what comes every day.
you know
They say that black Americans hate Donald Trump.
everybody just getting in line. Now,
I'm looking at
agree with the Republicans.
3 young black Americans here that supports or that support the elected president.
This man hasn't even stepped in office, and things are already falling.
They say,
into
hold
place.
on now, Trump back in there. We got to,
Things are already falling. into
these
place.
ain't the YMCA kids no more.
Nah,
It's
facts.
real business handling, man.
No, it's
Oh
exciting.
man, this shit's funny, man. All the cases are being thrown out, man. Wow. Let's see this, man. This is hilarious.
Fannie Willis.
From how I understand it, the cases that or the charges that Trump got were all
Maybe a message to Fannie
mostly made up, and many of them have already passed or expired already, but they just
jobs to be prosecuted.
There is like a limit to how long you can sue somebody. I forgot the
Georgia Court of
legal term for it,
going to disqualify their entire office.
but even though the limit has, or I guess you can say expired already, or it has, the limit to sue has passed, they still added those in the charges. I guess you can say
I'm a great
it was illegal in some ways.
That's crazy.
And then she got up and lied about it in court, right? So she's going to get disqualified from this case. This case will go to another district attorney in Georgia, and no one in their right mind would bring this case again because it's not a crime to object to a presidential election. It's allowed by the Electoral Count Act of 1887. It's allowed by the First Amendment. Again, I want to say to these Democrat prosecutors and these Democrat hellholes, we're not messing around this time, right? So proceed accordingly.
Yeah, I don't know how they keep their law licenses after this. I just don't. I don't know how they stay within the bar after what they've done. And when the people know the truth, when people actually understand the truth, and now that we control the media,
They need to start this barring lawyers,
right?
especially if they are corrupt.
Now we can tell the truth. We can tell the true story.
Of course, I'm not an expert when it comes to this one, but
Time for truth and reconciliation.
it seems that
People to actually understand how their government operates.
they're just using their positions to basically harass somebody.
Cat,
I don't think that's good.
2024 going to
super
bring
bad.
hell.
Oh, that wasn't even the one I thought I
It's gonna be a
clicked.
year of truth, is what he said.
The one about Letitia. Hear this.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General.
Big Tish,
I
big
dare
family.
you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term. Because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And I promise you that. So,
There you go. There you go.
violate President Trump's
It's just okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong to fight fire with fire,
That is
I like
crazy.
that.
especially if they have the means and ways, and they know that they're on the right side of the law.
Big Tish.
Oh, that
He
was
said, I'm gonna
hilarious.
put your fat ass in jail.
This is America.
This is a landslide. Look at Oklahoma. Not a single blue county. They don't call it the great state for nothing.
Look at Tennessee. Only thing is Nashville and Memphis.
I also learned that they didn't even campaign in California because they know that it's a solid blue state. But if you look at that map, you can see some red counties in California.
The LA Metro, that's the biggest blue.
Looks like the most indoctrination is going on in big cities, man, urban areas.
Because even if it's a blue state,
That's a trend everywhere.
there are still families in that state, and there are mothers and fathers, and and many of them, I would assume, have kids. And if they have common sense and they're not insane, their prerogative is to protect their kids, protect their kids from.
Past few days, guys, like everything that we've been watching happen in our country is finally about to
From
like now
I guess
be excited
folks with
solutions and good
mental problems.
prosperity. We're gonna have money in our pockets, and it's like the golden age is really coming up for real.
It's only 4 years.
Fear-mongering and all the stuff they put out.
I'm not sure how much
They have so much
they can change
voted on abortion.
in 4 years, and then after 4 years, if another blue president, or if a blue president takes over, they can easily change all the good things that was done.
That's just long.
4 years is very short. I think it's a very short.
Sit here and think about that this man almost got assassinated
Twice. No.
Right. The fact that the first one was crazier though, but the fact that he turned
finna
around,
figure out
bro.
who did it.
He could have been gone for real.
Yeah,
But he turned around and he's not gone, man.
He's finna figure out who did it.
That's very crazy to me, man.
They finna figure out who did it.
That's very, very crazy to me, man. You know, and I don't like bringing, it might actually be unanointed into this situation.
4 years is like you close your eyes and you open it, and it's already 4 years.
in a speech, you're always forward, brother. You're probably forward 90% of the time. And the fact that he turned around, I'm talking about at a rate of how a bullet was coming, bro. He thought he had him, and he turned his head, bro. That shit's insane to me, bro. This shit is a legendary moment that we just experienced.
This
guys.
is a legendary
This is a
timeline
movie.
of events that we've
This is gonna
experienced, and I just want to hope for the safety of Trump, because what he just said in that video was a bombshell. So we know they're going to come after him to try to prevent this from happening. So I hope for the safety of our president. I hope for the prosperity of our nation, and I'm just very excited for the next few months, guys, because everything's about to start falling in line.
Yeah, it's gonna be a roller coaster, guys. Let us know what y'all think, guys. We gone.
Okay, so that was not gaming related, but it was very interesting. Let's see here. I am ruined. Okay, this is an Asmon Gold clip. Let's go check this out.
Alyssa Mercante got fired from Kotaku.
This is about the Mercante person
Kotaku writer showed interest writing a hit piece on Asmon.
getting fired from Kotaku. Well, the word she used was she left Kotaku, but there was another news that Kotaku laid off a lot of people. So it means she was part of those that were laid off. So essentially, she got fired.
And now she's done and won't make the hit piece anymore. I'm ruined. Ruined.
Work news. After exactly 2 years, I've decided to leave Kotaku as my role as
There you go. She used the word leave,
editorial,
which means she left. She wasn't fired. According to her, she left.
decision for me. I have some things coming down the pike, so
But it just makes sense to assume that she was fired because Kotaku laid off a lot of people.
but it's been very obvious that she's tried to
No,
media for a while.
you can easily assume it, Asmon Gold.
Because Kotaku is they're so reliant on advertising. So let's count the ads. 1, 2, 3, it's an email ad. 4, 5, 6, 7,
Why are you even counting ads? Come on.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27.
Websites like Kotaku, PC Gamers, and the others, they will never.
She says a lot of things that are
They will never get an ad view from me.
will complain.
Never. And I hope people
Kotaku could keep her
can start doing the same thing,
she was and how
because
on those advertising dollars. And right now,
that's how they exist, from ad revenue.
they thought they could make money by promoting white power. They'd be in their robe by the end of the day. They would be
That is so stupid. You can't be racist against the white people. That is just an excuse so that they can be racist. They are actual racists.
women. They don't care.
They're so evil that they're making rules
Yeah, I think it's
for
probably
themselves.
for her and also for Kotaku.
Not for me, though! Fuck!
So this one is from JT. I think I've seen this already. When woke liberals realized that Donald Trump won. Down here we have something from Vara. Manager fights to get pronouns removed from... Okay, this sounds interesting. I think I've read this already in Twitter. So guys, a lot of people are complaining about Twitter. It's all about what you view or post in Twitter. They say they get a lot of crap. Well, it's all on you. You must train the algorithm. In my case, I rarely get news from my own country because I don't view news from my country, because I know it's never gonna be good. Usually my For You feed in Twitter would have posts about games a little bit on politics because of Elon Musk, and pro wrestling, mostly AEW. Before I would get WWE or topics or posts about WWE, but because I kept on telling the X algorithm that I'm not interested in it, and I've also muted a bunch of people that are WWE fans. I guess now the X algorithm knows that I'm not interested in WWE, so it doesn't give me WWE content. For example, when Mutahar complained that he was getting racist posts in his For You feed, it's more probably because he was like viewing posts that are racist. That's why. The algorithm is not intelligent. It cannot predict what you like. It will form a judgment of what you like and don't like based on what you view in Twitter or in X. For example, I saw one post of a almost naked girl, and I engage with it. So I basically replied or coded it, telling that I don't want to see this. And then basically, I think the post was, I don't want to see this, muting or muted, something like that. So I muted the account, which means I won't get any posts from that account anymore. But because I engage with it just once, and the X algorithm thought that I might be interested in more half naked women, and it was like showing me a lot. Oh my goodness. So when that happened, what I did was I just stopped engaging with any of them, and I kept muting or kept telling the algorithm that I was not interested. And now my For You feed is back to where it was before. The X algorithm stopped showing me pictures of half naked women. Anyway, let's go check this one out from Vara Dark.
There has been so much controversy surrounding the Mass Effect board game because we knew that they were adding pronouns on the character sheets and
This is good.
attacked fans as effing man babies simply for criticizing this decision. And now we're finding out that Asmodee, the Czech Republic, vows to remove pronouns from their version of the game. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, the majority of people do not want identity politics shoved into their entertainment, whether it's movies, TV shows, books, video games. We just want good entertainment.
And if identity politics exists in your part of the world, and misgendering is a crime again,
and here
you can weaponize it. You can use it against them, especially when the only requirement
I think
is claiming that
many other people do
you are this and this pronoun, or you are this and this gender.
From their version of the game. So Michael Irk,
It is so insane that you can get people in jail
the pronouns. The game, of course, became infamous
for something like misgendering, when the only requirement is
man babies, and accused them of trying to
your own claim.
Score on Board Game Geek. Quote,
so insane.
Handle looking at pronouns on a character sheet. It's not that we cannot handle looking at pronouns on a character sheet. It's that we simply do not want to have to. And that is a decision that people can make. If I was playing this, right, with a group of friends and they all wanted to put pronouns on their character sheets, they could make that decision, but that doesn't mean I would have to adhere to it. That does not mean that everybody should have this forced in their faces. And of course, this decision, I'm sure, was made by a plethora of people, but the game's creator, Eric Lang, is the one who really ignited the situation because he came out and said that we're all effing man babies, and he said he hates talking about this on social media, but he was begging people to go and
Imagine if
to
every person
tank their rating with ones
or or every character in the cards have their favorite Catholic saint.
ones. It was like 20
I'm pretty sure these people are going to lose their mind.
10 tens.
It's the same thing.
Basically just
We don't want your religion on our hobby the same way as you don't want our religion on the same hobby.
just caused the Streisand effect to happen because even more people were paying attention to this. Even more people were talking about it. And then we also found out that this individual, Michael, is vowing to remove the identity politics from the Czech Republic version of it. In a recent post to the game store page on the Czech website, he declared, as translated by DeepL, well, we think it's absolutely unnecessary to mention it, so there won't be any pronouns in this version of the character card.
It is unnecessary because the characters
We don't want them there.
wouldn't care.
Make sense at all, which I totally and completely agree with.
They're basically just pictures on a card or on a board or something.
But to top that off, when you look at a character like Liara,
How are they going to get offended?
that is a woman, and you would refer
And how do they know
pronouns.
the characters on the board game wants to have pronouns?
Clearly, he's a man. Like, not only are you treating people like they're idiots and that they cannot figure out what you would refer to this character as by just looking at this image, but you're also just shoving unnecessary politics in our faces because that is what adding pronouns to
They should add on the side,
is really
they should make a space for the character's favorite Catholic saint.
having to go around asking people what
Or-
their pronouns are. And it's easy.
It doesn't have to be Catholic. Maybe their favorite religious figure.
If this is true or not, do you want to be referred to as a
I'm sure they are going to lose their mind if you add something like that.
really not that important. It's just a small addition, but if it's not that important, why add it in the first place?
Yeah, it's also a small edition.
Or wasn't that
There you go. If there are game developers out there that are Christians
tell people, hey, if you wanna change
and you are working on a
your friends
popular franchise, I suggest that you add a space somewhere for the character's favorite religious
say that I'm shocked because
figure.
this is still EA and BioWare, right? So even though Eric Lang is the one who is making the decision because he is the game director, he still had to converse with BioWare. And
Or if you are a Christian, maybe there should be a space in the character profile sheet, character sheet,
identity
um,
just
for their favorite Bible quote or Bible verse.
terminology like transgender, non-binary, having your characters pick their pronouns, and constantly going around having to deal with characters like Tosh who only want to talk about their identity and how they're
I wish somebody,
oh my gosh, it's just so ridiculous.
could do it
And I bet
or would do it.
was hired and he was like, oh, can I add pronouns?
It's not gonna be popular though.
BioWare was like, oh, that's a fantastic
It's the same thing with the pronouns because it's a
see this happen because I think that this
it is something from a religion. Woke is a religion. It's a belief system.
Lang igniting this fire surrounding it, doubling, tripling, quadrupling down, and even then saying, oh, I deleted all my posts on this, but I still stand by it. Why would you do that? If you stand by what you said, if you stand by the decisions you've made, why try to hide? Because it's just not going to work. The internet does not forget. We are going to be talking about you adding pronouns to these character cards. We are going to be talking about you calling us effing man babies for criticizing this decision. These people are such sensitive snowflakes. They take everything so personally. We're just sitting here criticizing a video game, or in this case, a board game, and a decision that was made with this game. But instead, he calls us effing man babies for talking about it, and for a couple of people daring to leave 1 ratings. I mean, my God, just taking everything so personally. And I think that it's great that we are seeing this individual saying this, vowing through, their version of the game, the Czech version of the game, that it is unnecessary, and they will be arguing with the publisher that they do not want them there. And I think we are going to actually see a lot of people buying this version to basically stand in solidarity and show their support. I know I personally would definitely try to get my hands on a Czech version of it if this does.
The problem is, how are you going to understand it if it's in a different language? Unless, of course, you know the language.
Day, we are seeing tons of different people fighting back against this, from gamers to also board game designers. We also, of course, have publishers. And now on the game store page for the, Czech version, we have this individual coming out from Asmodee, which again is an Embracer company, vowing to remove the pronouns. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it
Okay, so that was Viadark on the Mass Effect board game. At least the how do you read that Czech? The Czech version. They don't want any pronouns in their board game. It says here I'm gay and I chose to walk away after testing conservatives. I don't get it. So we have here huge updates. Ubisoft, 13 hours ago. Ubisoft just shocked me. Okay, I'm not going to consume any content from this guy anymore. I'm not sure if I'm subscribed to him. I have my standards. Okay, what is this? Videos, Karasad accessories won't bring back players. I don't get it. Karasad. Twitter employee looks for work. Okay, let's take a look at what's happening. Let's take a look at my notifications. So we have here from Viva La Dirt League. I've seen this one already. Trump victory has broken people's brains. Of course. I believe it. The mercanti person filed from Kotaku. Activists flees the country to avoid Donald. So stupid. Dragon Age Veilguard writer has total meltdown, goes nuclear on social media over Donald Trump. I believe it. Yeah, I've seen this person already. Hero High. It's looking very bad for Dragon Age Veilguard. Let's see. Why? Tell me, Hero High. I want to know why. Oh, why? Oh, I want to know why. Oh, why? Oh, I want to know why.
At its peak, Dragon Age the Veilguard had a Steam rating of around 80%. And for days now, it's been steadily declining back down to around 70. And it looks like the public opinion over on the Dragon Age subreddit is also starting to shift. You may have seen previously how Asmongold posted that he was excited to play Dragon Age Veilguard over on that subreddit, to which he was extremely swiftly banned from the entire thing. Apparently, moderators even went on to set some auto-mod function up that instantly banned anyone subscribed to Asmon's subreddit too. Then I saw some reports from a few other subreddits that this was also occurring there, where similarly anyone subscribed to those subreddits were also automatically banned from our Dragon Age. It looks like people over on our Dragon Age really didn't want any negative opinions about the game being posted there. There were a few critique posts I saw getting through, but they were only like the most mild of critiques, and they were few and far between, especially when compared to the overwhelming amount of posts there that were just shilling for the game. As mentioned a moment ago, however, it looks like things are starting to change. Either they've given up trying to keep it just an echo chamber, or the game's biggest offenders are finally admitting that the game's not as good as they were trying to say it is. It's like the facade is being dropped. Perhaps what's going on is a combination of both things. Regardless, let's take a look. From 21 hours ago, a top post reads, "Soft reboot, devoid of life." So obviously avoided spoilers in the intro to this post, but I'll delve into some in-game spoilers later. This game doesn't feel like a Dragon Age game. It feels like a spin-off made by writers who didn't read the material beforehand or who hate this game. Let it be known the entire game's not bad. Solus has some good moments, but overall the writing and story are a dumpster fire. A good example is Morgan. Morgan in Origins was a distant, cold, but somewhat caring individual once she got to know you. The crew slowly turns her to be kinder as time goes on. And if she had Kieran, a popular choice with the Warden usually, she ends up being a far more caring figure. In Inquisition, where we see her next, even without Kieran, she's grown slightly warmer, if only because of her affection for the hero of Faldrin, and her friends like Leliana. And yet Veilguard feels like it's butchered that in a way. You see her in-game as a deus ex machina. She appears when the plot demands it, drops off lore and tidbits, and leaves. You can have no interactions with her outside of cutscenes, and can't prod her or get to know her as the Inquisitor did. Did she have Kieran and marry the Warden? It's implied that she at least had Kieran because Solus takes a massive portion of power from Mythal, and she's at her strongest with that plot point, but the game makes no effort to actually speak about this. And the Warden, who is teased to be hunting a Kieran Inquisition, is not mentioned. Did he live, die, cured, or not? We'll never know. Not that it matters by the halfway point of the game. So much of this game feels empty and devoid of life because the NPCs sit around doing nothing, and the NPCs we know from previous games either don't act the way we expect them to, or are so distant from who they used to be, it makes no sense. Even Morgan, who was in character, wasn't given a chance to finish her plot thread. Kieran basically doesn't exist, and the game treats all of the prequels to this as if they're taboo topics. I feel like even if this game's writing and story were better, which I don't think it does, it wouldn't get close to what the previous games had because the world feels devoid of all life and care once put into it. And the ending really helped cement the idea that they did this to distance themselves as much as they could from the Dragon Age Keep, and the Sea of Choice is transferred over. From just 9 hours ago, another top post reads, "Am I the only one who can't stand Tosh? I needed a place to vent. Just got done with the scene where I had to play peacemaker between them and Emmerich, and the nerve on this Canary. They're constantly portrayed as this moody, angsty teenager and trash on everyone else, but especially Emmerich. I get being wary of necromancy, but the guy hasn't earned the bullying Tosh was giving him. In fact, Tosh comes across as the bully to everyone. How old are they supposed to be anyway, 18? I'm trying to be patient with them and see through the end of their storyline, but it doesn't help that Rook can't call them out on their behavior at all. It can only be nice to them. It's like the writers were playing favorites and made sure Tosh was protected. Yeah, Tosh overall has to be one of the weirdest things about Veilguard. It's hilarious that the devs have tried to push Tosh as this like flagship character of the game, but the character just sucks. And I'll never get over how creepy this thumbnail is. Like, what were they thinking? Heck, even their storyline is so far the most boring. Like, we went to explore Dragoness, where I thought we would finally get to see their dragon hunting skills in action, and nothing. It was another therapy session. I'm sorry, I know some people might enjoy those scenes or relate to them, but I can't bring myself to care about their storyline at all. At this point, I don't even care that they're hunting a dragon or whatever. Darvin and I already took down an Archdemon anyway, and if I need dragon hunting tips, I can always ask the Inquisitor. Sucks that all companions are essential. I would have sent Tosh packing ages ago. Wonder if that's why the writers made them essential. Dang, so yeah, that post absolutely destroyed Tosh. Get wrecked.
That's why we recruited her.
Actually, Tosh uses them for themselves now.
They asked us to let folks know, so now you do.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Thank you for telling me. That's why we recruited them.
So yeah, I think we've all seen the barf misgendering scene, but there was another one. Like shoving in his men.
How many are they?
Comments are hilarious. This game is so crazy.
It doesn't make sense.
Is this real? This gotta be a joke.
How can she be they when there's only one of
That's why.
one of them?
post about Tosh that we just read, one of the top responses says, yeah, kinda ironic how a non-binary character that has a whole arc about her pronouns is forcing a label on Emmerich and refusing to call him what he identifies as, even after telling Tosh it upsets him when he's called Death Mage / Corpse Guy instead of his name. Tosh's response is, what, you are a Death Mage? Can no one in the writer's room see the irony here? Once again, I'm reminded of multiple occasions where these weirdo Twitter activist types of people were getting all mad about femboy characters. A few months ago, there was like this femboy anime that came out, and they kept misgendering him as a woman, saying it's a trans woman. Some of the people misgendering this character were even trans women. You'd think they would want to, you know, gender people properly, but nah, to them it was okay when they do it. Talk about double standards. And then, of course, way before that, there was the situation with that femboy manga, where the localizers similarly turned the femboy character into a trans woman. The rights holders getting so upset they forced it to get translated again the proper way, but you had some localizers defending the mistranslation, including that Katrina lady. Anyways, continuing with comments on the Tosh post, this one reads, very juvenile type character, supposed to be early 20s, but they act like 14 years old. Really weird that you can romance someone with that sort of personality. It's like romancing a child. Blech. Tosh is someone's self-insert or wish fulfillment character that's designed to exist so they can teach everyone how to treat non-binary folk, except they made them super unlikable and creepy. The character is a jerk unnecessarily to innocent people. They're hypocrites who don't respect others enough to use their names. And because this game is designed by people who don't want you to be mean ever, you can't call them out on it in a way that makes sense. It's all acceptance or pivoting. I firmly believe that if it were possible to not recruit companions, get rid of them. Kill them beforehand, early on, etc, etc. Tosh would be one of the most disposed of companions in the game, if not the absolute most removed from all the pushback fans have been given about how they were handled. Every time I type their name, my autocorrect almost changes it to trash, and while I would never call them that, the way the character behaves and is handled certainly lives up to that autocorrection. That's on the writers, and whoever decided this character was a good idea. I mean, look, if the character's trash, then the character's trash. Nothing wrong with calling him trash. It's a trash character. It's junk. It's terrible. It's garbage. Moving on, we have another top post. This one from 19 hours ago. A significant percentage of the dialogue in this game is one of these 3 lines. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Every day in conversation, at least one comes up. People in Northern Thetis are very polite. While the echo chamber is starting to crack over on our Dragon Age, 3 days ago, that wasn't quite the case. This post being made instead over on our RPG game, saying, I played Dragon Age Veilguard. Goodness grief, man. I've been an avid RPG for probably... You've been an RPG? Probably RPG fan. That sounds funny, though. I've been an avid RPG for probably centuries now. Wait, what? Hold up. That doesn't make any sense even as fan. This guy's freaking some like centuries old person. I don't even know, but okay, continuing. Played the Mass Effect trilogy, Dragon Age Origins to Inquisition, which...
That is not true, my goodness. Centuries. So, 100 years ago, or hundreds of years ago, role-playing games already exist.
Yeah, dude, this game
I guess, they are...
We can already tell. I feel bad for this person.
Maybe they, back in the day, instead of role-playing games, they have live-action role-playing games. LARP.
Skin of Dragon Age, or it should be some other fantasy game. The writing in this is just mediocre. Like, I'm supposed to be invested in my party members' questline, but I find them to not be compelling. They're just talking, and dialogue feels like they're conveying information to you rather than it being organic and natural. The writing is not mature enough to even tackle certain topics and themes. You feel the writing is leagues apart when you compare this to DA Origins, or Witcher 3, or Baldur's Gate 3. Examples such as these games had passion all over its writing quality, and doesn't treat the audience's intelligence like a child. The combat's just basic, and that's about it. It's flashy prime and detonation combo, the builds can be varied, but there isn't any tactical RPG aspect or lacking thereof to the combat. I'm just rushing through the main story. Afterwards, I go back to Metaphor ReFantazio, which is a great JRPG that came out recently. Maybe I revisit Veilguard some other time, or just play the previous Dragon Age titles. It's best to probably not expect the good old BioWare glory days of clever, intriguing writing. Maybe I shouldn't. Back then, game developers cared about giving us a good story, told with love, care, passion, and integrity, and not forcing agendas. Well, it's not the 2000 era anymore. So this guy got over 800 upvotes, and this like 2 heart award thingies. Top response saying, my biggest issue with Veilguard is that we waited about 10 years for the next Dragon Age game, and this is what they have to show for it. No player world states, dumbed down RPG elements, dumbed down story, idiotic design choices, etc. If it wasn't specifically Dragon Age or not marketed as a literal follow-up to Inquisition, people would probably be more forgiving, but from a developer previously known for great works only is just disappointing. Really disheartening to see my former favorite series slowly wither away. So yeah, as you can see, things are just getting worse and worse for Veilguard, even on the main Dragon Age subreddit. As mentioned at the very start, the Steam reviews are also trending down. But let me know what you think about this stuff in the comments. Also consider liking and or subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed my coverage.
Okay, so that was Hero High, and look at that, just in time. That's it for the hour. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and if you did, please consider following the channel in Rumble. Even if you are in Twitch, in YouTube, or in Kick, please go to Rumble and consider following the channel there. Also, give it a like and share it. That will greatly help the visibility of the channel. So guys, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.